Well, and here's the big question. So the big question for the Arsenal matches: were they playing it safe so they can face Manchester City yesterday, or do they this weekend and have energy, or do they really have a problem scoring goals? Because the commentators say, "Oh, they didn't want to go out and attack too much because they saved their energy for the weekend." But what if Sporting has scored a goal? What if Sporting has scored a goal? And this is the danger of Arteta playing it safe. How can you play it safe and you think, oh, we're not going to extend ourselves, we're not going to play offensively, we're going to play defensively? What if they had given up a goal? Because anything can happen in football. Then they would have been in big trouble. So our big question is, to me, they still have a problem with scoring. And also, I'm beginning to learn something about Eberechi. Eberechi is like a globetrotter. You know what the globetrotters are, Falabi? A lot of skill, a lot of flashiness, but he's not direct, and he's not a true playmaker. He's the opposite of Olise. Eberechi can pass, he can dribble and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like, remember the guy who's like Okocha. Okocha would dribble, and he'll barely miss a goal afterwards. Okocha wasn't really big in assists, but he was fantastically skilled. So we still have, I think, Arsenal still has a problem. Eberechi is too flashy. He's not direct enough, and Odegaard has injuries, and also Odegaard doesn't have imagination too. So they still have this problem where they don't have a playmaker. And yesterday on the pitch, this guy just looked like it's not his fault. Gyökeres looked like he shouldn't even be on the pitch. Like he's just standing there. He's getting in the way of his teammates. That's not his fault. It's the way that Arteta plays. So what were your thoughts about that, Mr. Warif?
Yes, you see, Arsenal, there are lots of things that Arteta need to fix in that team, mostly in the midfield. Because when I see Gyökeres being subbed, I don't blame him, because if the midfield is dead, the striker is as good as dead, because the midfield is like the connection between the striker and the defense. You connect them. But like for the defensive midfielders, Arsenal, Rice is there and Zubimendi is there, but the creativity, the players that have the mind to dictate the pace of the game for the striker to deliver is not there. And Arsenal, they need to try, and I don't know what Arteta, if Arsenal didn't win the Premier League this season, I think Arteta need to look into some players like Bournemouth. You can get what is lacking in Arsenal, the physicality. Like if you watch this, what's it called? Noni Madueke is good, but he's not physical. They're easily bullied off the ball, and it's really affecting Arsenal. Like the injury he sustained yesterday, it was one-on-one. The guy just bullied him, and they collided together, and he had injury on his knee. So I think, Arteta really need to work on not even the defensive midfield, the creative midfield, to have people that can dictate the pace of the game for the strikers to have.
And this is what happens. If you look at Arsenal, everybody is separate from each other. They're not together. What I mean is that the wingers are standing there. Gyökeres is standing there, and the midfield is there, and they're not connected. Like Gyökeres is standing there waiting for a pass. There's nobody to connect him. The team is not in harmony. They're not a fluid team. So what do you think, Afolabi? And to what I just said, and also to the fact, were they playing it safe? Or is this just how they play? This team is stiff, and they're going to be in big trouble with against City if they play this type of stiff football that's unimaginative. What do you think, Afolabi?
I think they were a bit scared because they were not sure of the outcome. They've lost confidence in themselves. I mean, they just lost to Bournemouth during the weekend, and then scared because they played all their first-team players. Maybe they didn't want a top player to get injured. They were so negative and conservative. I mean, Arsenal won this game because they were defensively solid. It's not many times you talk about defense and Arsenal, and because they had a good goalkeeper. So going forward, they were very uninventive, unimaginative. I think their best playmaking footballer is Odegaard, and he's injured. I think no other player has the quality to play the ball in between the lines. So yesterday they look very sterile. They look fragile. They look afraid. I mean, the biggest chances in that game went to Sporting. The biggest chances in that game went to Sporting. Even though Arsenal dominated possession, if they're going to have to beat Man City, they have to play as if it's the last game of the season. 2 seasons ago, they were conservative too. It cost them the league. This time around, they have to come out guns blazing. Forget about what happens at the back. Just pile pressure forward and see if you can get a win. I mean, if you don't buy a lottery, I mean, you don't win a ticket. So that's just the way it is. So they have to take a lot of risk against Man City. And risk-taking is one of the reasons why Man City are so good. You just have to take a risk, push people forward.
I think is going to happen? I think he's going to play for a draw. Arteta's going to play for a draw.
That's just the problem I have with Arteta. You never know his mindset. So
and then you know what happened? He'll play for a draw, okay? And then at the end, just like that year, 2 years ago, where he played for a draw in March and they lost to Aston Villa, he'll play for a draw, take it easy, and then he'll lose the championship by 1 point. Do you get my point? That's what happens. I'm not saying that will happen, but that's the type of irony.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys notice that even, like I said, I'm not saying it's Gyökeres's fault. The person taking most of the shots in that game was Eberechi. He took more shots than the forwards, and then he had more shots on goal. That means that there's something wrong with that offense. There's something wrong with that offense. Because what he was basically doing was, I'm not saying he's ball hogging, but he was just taking the ball and running, and instead of passing the ball, he would be taking long shots. Did you notice that, Mr. Warif?
Yeah, I noticed it. He got to a point he was even apologizing to his colleagues, maybe taking shots, getting to the target. He got carried away. What are your thoughts, Afolabi? Then we head out. Like Mr. Afolabi said, Arsenal players, they are afraid to express themselves.
Yeah, they are. They've been playing afraid the last 3 or 4 games. It's like, I think the psychological way, they know that. I think pressure is building up in their heads. It's beginning to affect the way they play. I definitely think so. What are your thoughts, Afolabi?
Well, I still think they can win the Premier League, maybe through goal difference or by the odd point. But I think Arteta needs to start training them on another way to do things. All of them are too used to a certain way of playing, and it's not working this season. Arsenal's system, their approach is not nuanced. Everybody knows how they play, and the whole Premier League has solved that problem. So teams are better reacting to the way Arsenal plays. And once Arsenal is in trouble, you just see them changing personnel. They don't change the system in-game. So everybody now knows how to play against them. So, and they become very, very predictable. You have to give your opponents guesses. You have to make them guess at times. Make them think. Sometimes you have to drop to 3 at the back. Sometimes you have to push 2 strikers forward. Ever since they bought Gyökeres, they haven't really played to his strengths. Otherwise, that guy was a monster in Sporting Lisbon. He was scoring loads of goals. But now it appears the Arsenal way of playing has dulled the skill set. So I think they need to evolve. There has to be an evolution of their tactical plan. They need to evolve their tactical plan.
I agree. All right, so take us out. So tomorrow we'll talk about, we'll do the preview for the Arsenal match, which is on Sunday. Okay, but take us out for everything. Good show, guys.
Yeah, it's been another wonderful football show. We've been discussing Lisbon, Arsenal progressed, and then Real Madrid and Bayern Munich progressed. And from Mustafa Warifa, we'll be back again for some interesting football stories. Bye for now. All right,
thanks. Warif, you're at school today. I thought you were off this week.
Yeah, no, the staff will resume, but the children are resuming on Sunday.
Okay, back. No more enjoyment for you.
Tomorrow,
I'm just starting my holiday.
Going to work at home.
You'll be working at home. Good. Stay at home.
Tomorrow we'll be resting.
I'll begin 3 weeks of vacation starting. Is it 3 weeks?
It's 2 weeks starting from today.
2 weeks.
We'll be enjoying. We'll be doing our football tours. But yeah, so see you guys tomorrow. Nice one.
All right.